Heads up to everyone before you watch this. This is the finale to our first season of our show, Why Blank is an Amazing Villain. So if this is your first video of ours, you should check those out after this. Enjoy the list. Also, you can skip the intro by going to this timestamp.
So what we have, here is our good old classic tier list. All right, as you guys can see. And we wanted to really solidify where we put our villains, because looking back on some of them, I don't know what crack cocaine we were on ranking them. For example, I'm going to show you guys this tier list of what the tier list, would look like if we committed to the scores we gave them. Are you ready?
You could also thank me for compiling this, because I had to get all the scores together. Yeah, it's a little... Yeah.
I've never seen this before. It's so bad.
Woo! Yeah, so this is...
Yeah, the scores are a little...
Yeah, so, there were two ties. It was a tie between Payne and Dabi. And what was the other tie, Cole?
Monika and Bill.
Monika and Bill Cipher. Oh, well then I guess technically that would be here then, but whatever. Point's the point. It's goofy. Goofy as hell.
Goofy. To be fair, characters like Bowser kind of get destroyed point-wise by our system.
True. It really isn't fair. I don't think. I think we could change it a little bit. Also, I'm a bit offended how you said we. Like, I only did one of them, so I'm not responsible for the majority of this, Christian.
You're right. You're the one that placed you placed Darth Vader in C tier. So keep in mind
that was just because one. That was one thing.
Keep in mind.
Yeah,
you're right. Spectrum. You're so right. You're the one that put Darth Vader below Purple Guy.
And Flowey the flower.
And Monika.
Dude, Monika was more your fault,
dude.
Christian.
Monika's on me, dude. I actually, dude, Monika. I don't know what crack I was on, but
you really like Monika, apparently.
Apparently, dude. I went off.
Okay, well, let's fix this.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited to amend some of these atrocities.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was this bad, man. I don't know.
Yeah, when we counted the scores and compared them together, it really put some things into perspective.
Dude, especially Monika.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
So we'll start with who's here. At the front here. We'll start with Evil Morty.
Of course.
Okay.
Okay. So we need to have a conversation here, all right? Because I know Cole doesn't agree with me.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna place Evil Morty where I think that he should go. Are you ready?
You're not even gonna ask for our opinion? Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
All right.
no.
You see, I want to hear thoughts. All right. I'm just because I placed him there doesn't mean he stays there.
Right.
But
Right.
Of course,
you know,
that's how this works.
I think it's a perfectly valid place to put him. You know, I'll make my argument.
Yes,
so this
please.
man, this kid actually, all right.
This kid.
He
He is 14 years old.
He's 14 years old. Unless it's season 5, and one time they said he was 13.
No, he's eternally 13 or 14.
Yeah.
He's like Ash Ketchum.
I'm
So
10 years old.
So this kid, all right, he has like 3 episodes, okay, to his name, all right. One of them he gets half the he gets like half the episode. One of them, so it's more like 2.5, all right. And he has shooken the internet. How many times have you heard? Have you heard? You know, for
the broken God.
All
To
right.
be real, Christian, most of the time I hear it is because of you.
But it's everywhere. All right. It's
Okay.
This man, this kid. All right. He follows every rule of writing so perfectly, to where like he gets so little screen time. But he is like the biggest. He's my favorite character. I'm biased. He is so many people's favorite characters with only 2.5 episodes in the, what is it now? It would be, we just finished season 6, so 60+ episode series.
Oh man, they just finished season 6. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
I don't know, man. I just don't think he's that good. Like, yeah, he doesn't have a lot of screen time. That's one big flaw he has, 100%. But like his plan, it's well, half of his plan seems like overbearing in a way, I guess. Like, why does he? This is hard to put into words. Like, I get it. He's trying to get away from Rick. I understand that. Rick's kind of an asshole to a lot of Ricks are assholes to Mortys. But I get that. But it just is so over the top. He just becomes president of the Citadel, destroys the Citadel, which I mean makes sense. I get that. That's logically, I'm following it. Like, he wants to stop them from doing what they're doing, and then he just leaves though. Like, he doesn't stick around to make sure they can't, like, rebuild or anything. He just dips.
Well, you know, that's because he even specifies in his final speech. He's like, he says, I'd almost hate you Mortys more than the Ricks that made you, because all they do is suck up to him.
True.
I guess.
Yeah, I think he's good. Personally, I think he's A tier. But like,
I wouldn't put him in S tier either.
See, the thing is that I think he's a victim of multiple rewrites, and you can kind of see that, like, especially from the first episode.
Yeah.
Like, he was very obviously meant to be something else, and it's just it's very painfully obvious to me. I think. I mean, he's really good in like his last episodes and the penultimate episode that he was in. I really think that he just didn't get enough screen time because it feels like they just didn't know what to do with him for such a long time.
Yeah, he wasn't fleshed out enough. That's like, I think that's what I was trying to get to, but I couldn't like think of words to it. Like, you can get behind his plan and what he did, and like it all makes sense. But it also feels like there's not enough there. I think that's exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, it feels like they just kind of like put him on the shelf, and we'll get around to him. And it took a bit too long. He got a bit dusty. He was a bit moldy when they took him off the shelf.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly the words I was looking for.
But don't get me wrong, I still think he's really, really good though.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't gonna like be like, oh no, that man is D tier because he doesn't appear or anything. No, I'm with you, John. I think he's A tier. I just think Christian goes a little too far with dick sucking.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, valid. I'm outnumbered here, so you know I'll put him in
A. Are we gonna settle for?
Okay. Oh, I think high A. I think we could specify for you high A.
High A. So we'll just keep him.
All right. So, Cocaine Bear. Do we really need to say anything? Like,
Dude,
Guys.
Change S tier to cocaine tier.
Yeah, hold on. I need to make it. I need another tier. There
Yes,
we
now-
go.
there we go. Perfect.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're
'Cause,
talking about.
I did love Cocaine Bear, but like, what is there to say? You know,
I mean, it seems pretty self-explanatory. It's a bear that does cocaine.
Dude,
it is like
it's-
what you see is what you get. There's no real room for conversation or interpretation.
It's art, really.
It's high art.
Monika. I'm trying to think. I don't know what I was on. Like, okay, so whenever I wrote that episode, I like had just finished watching like a bunch of like Monika content because I was like bored, and so I was like in a oh. Oh! Yeah! I'm trying to think. Okay, so we gotta put them in relativity to Evil Morty. They're not as high as Evil Morty.
Oh, no.
No. I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't much care for Doki Doki, so I'm a bit biased.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was alright.
I like that we're the 3 levels, by the way. I really liked it. Cole thinks it's alright. John straight up. I tried to get John to play it.
I didn't hate it, but I thought it was mad overhyped.
That's fair.
Yeah. Like it was eh.
A lot of its popularity definitely came from it being a different medium for horror.
Yeah.
Right.
And like catching people off guard.
Like imagine downloading that.
Games.
Yeah, like literally imagine downloading that like you were just trying to play a regular dating sim, and then that's
True,
what
yeah,
you
like,
get out of it.
If I like went in totally blind and didn't know what would happen, like I would be super caught off guard. I think it would have been great.
Yeah.
But I already knew so much about it at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for me. Cuz they're well written. It takes like 75% of the game to get to that point. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
She's kind of just there until then.
like she says like a few things that like in retrospect are like like oh hey, but that's not until retrospect. So I don't know. I'm feeling B. It's up for interpretation later.
Okay.
I think you can get behind B. Yeah, but you could definitely feel like other characters. We talked about this ourselves, Christian. Like other people we rated based off of Monika, and you like off like the high of all the Doki Doki Literature Club content, kind of like changed ratings for other characters, which we will get to.
Yeah.
Like Bowser, as an example for me, I gave him. He was like my first character, and I gave him a 10 out of 10. Exclusively because Christian gave Monika a 9.9 on I think Presence.
It was
Presence.
it?
Yeah, and I was like, well, he's more present than Monika. He has to be.
Yeah.
So it's only logical that we put him at 10. Because this is like early on. We had like 6 villains out of our like what is it now 16?
Right.
So like 10
15,
less.
15.
They're too
15.
close in relation to each other, I think.
Yeah.
We need to be more critical.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to alleviate that now because we now have a whole season to look back on and compare to. So
Yeah.
it makes sense.
The season 2 ratings are going to be a lot more grounded in reality. So next up is GLaDOS. And
Yes.
is this already starting to get kind of like, you know, like because now we're having to like put these in like retrospect of one another.
Yeah.
S. You want them in S? Like
100%,
actually,
100%.
like
I don't think
I'm
they're good, but I don't think they deserve S.
I think she's great.
She is great. I'm not saying she's bad.
I think she's really good though. Like,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So we just are like, I think.
I think no.
Well, here, all right, John.
Okay, let's talk it out a little bit.
John, make your case. Well, why you think they're S tier?
Okay, so I just think like, okay, so picture this for me, buddies. So it's 2011. Yeah, you just got the, or maybe it's 2012, maybe even 2013. You just got the orange box, or like Portal was on the orange box, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Portal was on the orange box.
Okay, you just got the orange box. You know, you're booting up this game. You know, you wake up. It's 2013, so the graphics look like unreal because Portal still looks pretty good to this day. So it looked, you know, awesome back then. And I don't know I just think she's really cool.
That's your argument. That you think she's
no. Because like, I think like her high, like the highest part is just how memorable she is, like with her dialogue. Because for the longest time, like you have no idea like who she is or what she even looks like.
Mhm.
You know, so you're just going off of her voice alone. And for the majority of Portal, there's this overbearing like sense of loneliness. So you just feel very isolated with GLaDOS because you know she's watching you the entire time. So I think she just feels very menacing, and her both through just what she is and how, you know, often she very passively aggressively says she wants to kill you. I'm going to laminate your skeleton. I think she's great.
I think from my I think I'd be willing to put them higher than Evil Morty. In retrospect of it all, I don't know if I could put them in S.
I don't think I could. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Really?
I don't think I could put them in S. I'd put
her
them
low S.
I'd put her in A or B.
I'd put her in high.
I don't know where.
I think I'd put her in like high A. Currently the highest A. I just S is like people who like changed the game. Like
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think can we all
I think
be
A.
satisfied
Yeah, I
with
think
that?
A.
I
We
think
can all
that's
agree on
yeah,
A.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
She's comedic. She's threatening. It's
So,
great.
Light
Who was
Yagami.
that? What?
Light
oh, it's
Yagami.
light.
Death
Oh,
Note,
I
yeah.
couldn't tell who the hell.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's small as hell, especially for you.
Okay,
Light.
so I never finished Death Note.
You
I'm
didn't.
sorry. I never finished it. I watched a little bit of it, but I'm sorry.
Most of my Death Note knowledge is from clips.
I think personally, all right. Now, I want you to hear me out, okay?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Light Yagami, all right. Keep in mind, we can all acknowledge that I have a strong lenience towards morally gray villains.
Yes.
Yes.
So not only does he has the highest presence because he's the main character, by like out of everyone on this list, like that's just blatant obvious.
Right.
He also is like how I'd put it from the way that I've seen it, like the Japanese Walter White, because everyone over here, all right, on like it is like, ayo, Walter White's like this cool like anti-hero villain, you can't really tell until like a certain point, and like in retrospect everything he's doing is like absolutely wrong, but everyone loves him anyway. And Death Note did that, like, yeah, but Death Note did that first, like years before Breaking Bad. And everyone to this day, like still when I looked at the communities of Death Note to make the video, there were still people arguing over who was in the right, L or Light. So it's been 20 plus years and people still can't decide who's in the right. So I think that for such a short anime / manga, for it to still be as relevant as it is today, it had to have made a big impact.
Okay.
I don't have enough of an opinion like formed currently because I haven't watched it besides clips. But the clips I have seen, like they're interesting to me because it's a unique take to me on morally gray, especially because he's the protagonist. You see it through his eyes and everything. I would like to say I don't view presence the same way you do, Christian. I wouldn't say because he's the main character it's a free gimme that he has the highest presence. Yeah, because it means more to me than being on screen.
I mean, presence isn't like duration of presence. It's what they do with the time that they got.
I'm sure he does a lot, like especially since he's supposed to be kind of both a villain and a hero at the same time.
An anti-hero, if you will.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. But the clips I have seen, he seems very intriguing, and I don't know what it is, but like there's just a part of my brain that there's a nice scratch on that itch whenever like I see the clips of him and Elle going back and forth trying to predict each other like they're both fucking Batman. It's just so amusing to me, especially of how like over the top it gets.
It's
So
like
I
a Taylor Swift clip.
Yeah, I don't know if
exactly.
you guys have seen that one skit where it's like they're trying to order something for lunch and they're like, but if I order this, they're gonna tell me. Yeah,
From
but-
Solid JJ. Yeah, dude, that shit was so funny. I don't have enough of an opinion for it, but I think I would put him in higher tiers after like I did watch, because I do plan on watching it after everything. I do believe I would agree with you based on what I have seen that he is either high A or S tier. So I'm fine with leaving him in S.
John, thoughts?
Okay. So
From what you've seen, because you said you've seen the beginning
Yeah.
of Death Note, so.
well, only the first few episodes, but like the thing is for me, I mean, I think he's good, but I think he falls too much into the hole of being very much a Shonen Jump protagonist. You know?
Really?
I think
Do
so.
you?
Not like the I just have to get stronger and use the power of friendship. But like
You see, because that's what I think of when I think of Shonen Jump protagonist.
true, yeah. But I don't
Yeah, like
really know.
Goku.
I don't mean it like that. I mean it more in like he's a special snowflake. Like just cause, you know. I don't know how to
He's
explain it.
just
Like,
super smart for the because he just is, or what?
I don't know. Like that doesn't like kind of, but that doesn't feel right saying it like that.
Are you like, so are you saying it like, is it because of just him being the way he is, or like him coming across like the Death Note, or like what are you trying to fish here? I'm trying to see if I can help you out.
Because
yeah,
in a way,
I don't have
yeah.
I don't have a problem with him like just coming across the Death Note, because we have to have a story. Like that's whatever, that's fine. But like, I think he just could have been a lot better if he didn't just I don't know, I don't know. There's something off about him that I think he got stunted by like just shonen tropes almost. Like it's kind of hard to say.
Because in the sense of like, yeah, because on that front, I thought you were gonna talk about like, yeah, he just came across the Death Note at first.
No,
what I was
I don't.
thinking was like, because that's like the point of the story of like anyone could do this. Like he has
Exactly.
no like he has the best life actually. Like it's specified. He's like a straight A plus student.
Sure,
He's
he
like,
isn't like this kid down on his luck.
Yeah.
He's
No.
not Charlie Bucket finding the golden ticket.
no, he had like some bright ass future ahead of him, and he still opted to do this.
Yeah, for
Sure,
what
I
he
think that is
saw.
compelling. It is. I don't know. He'd be okay in S. Honestly, I could do that.
All right. Well,
I think we're fine with leaving him.
yeah. Ridley. All right, Cole. You wanna?
Oh,
where do you think he
boy.
needs to go?
I'm gonna be real. After discovering the manga, my love for Ridley
I had no
skyrocketed.
idea there was a manga. Like,
I
that was
didn't either.
shocking to me.
But oh my god, when I did the research for that video and I found out about it and I read some of his lines, dude, I was like, dude, I fucking love Ridley now. Like I started playing him in Smash and I was like, oh, that's super cool. Ridley's finally in Smash. I joined the hype bandwagon of that, and I kind of ended there. I was like, Ridley's super cool. He's a space dragon. How can you not like a space dragon? He's super badass. But that's where that ended. I have played very little Metroid, so I knew very little of Ridley. But after discovering like his personality, like how he functions and all this, he's super compelling to me. Because he's just not some dumb dragon like I originally expected.
Right.
He's like just some dumb brute monster Samus fights. He is actually a strategic tactician genius kinda, and like just with the brutality of a space dragon. So like I don't know. The line I love the most is, "I wonder where your mother is. Is she here or here?" Taunting Samus, trying to like invoke her PTSD.
In the manga.
Yeah, because he ate her, and she became part of him, because that's how he works. And I don't know. Ever since then I've thought he's been super compelling, and honestly, I've wanted to buy Metroid Prime to play it because of making that video.
Is he in Metroid Prime?
He is.
Oh.
But I think I would place him in A, personally. I don't think he's flawless S, but I think he's A.
I can't really follow anything up on that because like the most amount of intel I ever got from him was from the video that you made, Cole. So,
Fair enough.
I don't really have much else to say.
So
I don't know very much.
You know, as someone who like had to edit said video and had to learn actually a decent amount about him just to get certain clips. I think I could get behind higher B to lower A. That's where I think that I would put him. So
I agree with that.
Here.
Yeah, for now, we can always move him down to B. I think I agree with that. But like, what drives it for me is he's the reason I want to get into Metroid now. So that's why I think of him as a good villain. Like, learning more about him and what he's done and all that has made me want to get into Metroid more. So to me, that makes it like kind of push him up a little bit.
Right, because he alone like drew you into it.
Now that I'm thinking in like retrospect though, like it's saying something that like why haven't they done more with him in the games? Like you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's like his main medium. So that's a downer definitely for why like I wouldn't put him like S or high.
Yeah. In the games he definitely has bits and pieces of like showing his intellect because he sets traps and he retreats if necessary, but him lacking a voice definitely like lowers him. Like the manga sold him for me. Like I really need to find where I can read this manga because I want to read it now like so bad. I want to play more Metroid because he's completely capable.
Yeah, I think he got done dirty, like in the games at least. I don't know if he was originally supposed to be more like that, or if the games just kind of dumbed him down. You know,
I'm not sure. But go ahead, Christian.
Because like from my point of view, without the manga, it just seemed like a Tom and Jerry situation, dude. Like Samus would just go somewhere and Ridley just like spawned. Like that's how like it looked from my point of view with no manga information. And keep in mind, I'm not like a mega Metroid fan, so like that's I didn't I wouldn't know stuff about the manga like you learned from whenever you researched it.
Yeah.
But so like that's literally just how it felt. Like they needed a villain to like fuck it, big purple dragon, let's go, and then that's pretty much what they did.
I feel like it started out a little less like lore heavy than it is now.
Probably.
Because I don't even know if they mentioned at first that Ridley killed Samus's parents. But like after doing all the research and like seeing all these things, like it makes sense why Ridley follows Samus. He wants to kill her ass because her dad essentially embarrassed him.
1 second. We'll be getting to Bill here soon, and you can make a case yourself, Crimson Ninja, in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, are we looking at the chat? What's Crimson Ninja?
We got Bill and Def go into S tier from Crimson Ninja.
We'll definitely be getting there soon. But
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I absolutely I can put him, like I said, high A or a high B, low A. Yeah. We might get into a point of contention though, because now we're at Flowey.
Oh yeah, Flowey.
Flowey is okay. Actually, I've started off all these. Anyone want to tell? John, tell me.
John, I think it's your turn.
Yeah.
So Flowey's good. He's good. He is pretty memorable. I think everyone that played Undertale remembers that first scene where he makes you think this is going to be some cutesy RPG, and he's like, "Nah, fucker, it's time to die."
Survival of the fittest and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But he really, like, no matter what run you do for the vast majority, actually no, like I can't even think about like any other time where you just run into him in the beginning and then you run into him at the end, and that's pretty much it.
I do wish they did more of him.
I know, there's that Easter egg. If you walk backwards, you can see him.
Yeah,
and there's like 5 of those in different areas, but like
but that's the extent.
Yeah, that's the extent. Like and like there's
he's following you, but he doesn't do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's that part where you're in Grilby's and Sans talks about how there's flowers that are talking to Papyrus. Like that's That was super ominous and creepy. That was really good. And he wasn't around all that much, honestly. So
And the thing is, like, he's well written and everything too.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't. I don't think he hit the mark for me.
No, not
like
really.
It was just like disappointing because like he is really good, and like the point of like the my video for it was like he doesn't get enough love compared to a certain skeleton named after a font. And so it's like, yeah, okay, let's give him some love. Angry Birds Addict is very aggressively saying that Flowey needs to be in cocaine tier.
That could be right.
But like he's not everywhere enough. Like
Yeah.
it's stuff like in retrospect. I don't know. It's like he says at
Presence
the
hurts
end.
him the most.
Yeah, it's the same. He
Yeah.
falls into the same trap Monika does, where it's in retrospect. You know what I mean? Like he's saving. You find out about that whenever you do the genocide ending or whatnot. Like not like that, but like he's like, I've been doing this forever, and you find out his story, and like he's so well written, but he's
that part's
not
great.
around enough. Like Sans is like what being present is, respectfully. All right.
He just rolls up sometimes.
He literally teleports, and he's like, I know a shortcut, and like there's so many little bits and pieces that's like, you know.
Yeah, and he has the extra, like, Flowey has this too. Like, Flowey gets hurt because Sans prospers.
Yes.
Like, because Sans has like half the stuff Flowey does, but he's more present and does more with it and those scenes. Because Flowey and Sans are the two people that know of resets, saves, and all of that. And while Sans doesn't acknowledge it as much as Flowey does, he does more with it, with being able to teleport around, knowing he can just decide not to let you hit him because he knows you're in an RPG.
Yeah.
And like, he can count how many times he's killed you.
From the
Like,
expression
he
on
does
your
more with
face.
it. Yeah, just from the expression on your face. Like, he does more with it. If Flowey did more in any other ending besides True Pacifist, it would be so much better.
Yeah. Hello,
Yeah, 'cause
LTL.
Hello.
Oh, hello. See,
Alright,
the thing is about Flowey is that
Angry Birds does say less is more.
But that's the thing though, is like I just don't feel like whenever he is on screen at the end, and he reveals like he's around for everything, right? I'm gonna say a pretty decently controversial opinion, and it's that it didn't hit that hard for me that he was there the entire time, because
he didn't feel like
because like I said, like as we said, Sans prospers and that hurts Flowey, because if only like if we felt him, you know what I mean? And like also as an argument for what you said, Angry Birds, like Evil Morty is nerfed from screen time. We're not using that argument here on Flowey necessarily. We're using that the impact is different. When Evil Morty is on screen, I would absolutely debate that the screen time and impact that he has is larger than the impact you feel for Flowey. Like, whenever he was on screen, I felt more. I'm like, oh my god. Whenever Flowey was on screen, I'm like, oh hey, he's a little flower, until eventually it's revealed. He's a little guy. It's like, okay,
You only get to really see more of him. Like, if you're doing neutral run, you don't see him like at all, really.
No, neutral run, like he's just a negative like exponent of like the entire story.
So let's say you take this as like a normal RPG for your first run. So you're going to go neutral. You see Flow at the beginning. He kind of hits you with a curveball, and he's just gone for a long time.
Yeah.
And then and then eventually you hit like his peaks. He has huge peaks. No one's arguing like against that. That's why he's in the series. But like it feels weird for like if you take this as a normal RPG, he just isn't there at all, really. You have to go for one of the true endings to see him, and in those endings, oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. In those
so
endings,
hard. Like he's such a good character because he's literally the embodiment of what happens if you have the freedom to do anything for as long as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And like no consequences.
And like
Until finally you show up.
Beautifully written. Like his backstory and everything's so good. Like it's beautiful. Like it is. Toby Fox wrote them beautifully, but it's just not enough. Like in retrospect of everything. But
That hurt so hard
this
for
is
Flowey.
where I'm gonna say something that I think is gonna cause some debate here. I think, right, as of the moment, I think Flowey is higher than Ridley. All right, that's my personal opinion. But because of that, because of
I can
that,
get behind that.
I think Flowey's enough higher than Ridley that I think Ridley should go here.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Honestly, I'm fine with that. I think I'm okay with that. Like, I might change my, like, if I could say I did get into the manga and I did play more of the games, I would maybe fight you on that. But as of right now, in my knowledge of Ridley, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
And I agree. I think Flowey's a great character, and he's hindered by one stat, which seems to be a decently running theme for our guy, like our the people we pick. They have two great like attributes for our categorization, and then one is their downfall.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But I agree. Flowey's a great character. I think he does deserve A. He doesn't get enough love. Even in the game he is in, he doesn't get enough love. He deserved more screen time, especially in a neutral run.
Yes.
For sure.
This one I feel like is gonna be hard for me. Bill Cipher. I don't know where I would put him right now.
Neither do I.
Like at all. I'm gonna be real.
Like him.
I like him. I think that he's cool. I think that he's like a really good villain. I know that a lot of people like simp for him. I'm not meaning to call you out, Crimson Ninja.
What?
I mean like simp for him like he's like their favorite villain. Not like
They're not gonna try to screw the triangle.
Yeah, I don't want to have sex with the Dorito. But
Not true.
he's respectfully Crimson. He's not S.
He
doesn't like change. I like that. That's where I save S, right? Like they changed the game.
I'll let you finish, but I actually do have a slight argument for changing the game, but it's very minor.
No, like that. Go ahead and say your thing real quick. Yeah.
So I've seen this like echoed in a couple places, and I feel like this is valid to bring up. He does OP, like he makes OP seem fair. Like he's one of the best representations of an OP character. Like he is so broken in his abilities. He's clearly easily capable of destroying these children if he wanted to.
But he's
cocky. They didn't have exactly. If he didn't have his ego, he could easily win. Like he's OP done right. And like for after Gravity Falls ended, I was like, yeah, I loved Gravity Falls. Bill's great. And then like probably a year later, I found a YouTube video saying that like he's OP done right, and like it kind of opened up a third eye kinda for me with Bill, where it's like, yeah, you know, he really is one of the best representations of an OP character that doesn't feel overbearing because he's OP. Like it's just like he's just thrown in there because he's OP. And like they don't want anything to happen to him or blah blah blah. He feels like he's defeatable because he has a weakness, but you still don't want to fuck with him because he will easily clap you if he really wanted to.
Yeah.
He almost did. But then, like we said, his ego got to him, and he eventually lost.
And the way they beat him, like you said, like the way they beat him feels completely believable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they because like they used the twins like thing to like their advantage. They did like it was just like the recipe was right there. It was like it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel anything like that.
And they used their past experiences too to defeat him. Like they knew if they erased someone's mind, which they found the mind erasing thing a couple seasons prior as well, they could just get rid of him because the only way he can reach their physical plane is through someone's mind. Like it felt great.
Yeah.
See, the thing is,
John. Yep.
Yeah, so he is great. Don't get me wrong, but like, and he's scary too. And he like we were saying, he almost fucking won. But the thing for me is that like there isn't that much behind him, you know? Like he's
Yeah.
just kind of, you love to hate him, and that's about
Well,
it.
you see, this is where we get to the argument of should we really, like, how hard does it matter because it's not in the main series?
Yeah, it doesn't.
You go
it doesn't
into
matter that much.
the novel,
Mhm.
where they, like, you know, the axolotl thing. So they specify it's like for I don't know like how hard you guys were in the boat of like his reversed message at the end of his life, but it said like AXOLOTL, my time has come to burn, I invoke the ancient power that I may return. And if you read the novel, which by the way obviously spelled out axolotl, and Dipper and Mabel like find this giant mythical axolotl that's apparently more powerful than Bill Cipher, but like this axolotl just like kind of vibes. That's like its thing.
I didn't know there was a novel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they say, because this is what that meant, which is why people are still like Gravity Falls is going to come back. Whenever he said AXOLOT, my time has come to burn, I invoke the ancient power that may return. They ask about like Bill Cipher to the axolotl, and the axolotl says he once destroyed his world out of boredom, and he now regrets it and like fills himself in sorrow, like fills his sorrow and like taking over and just like destroying things because he's massively overpowered. And the axolotl says that if he invokes my name, I will let him return in a different form in a different place. So meaning Bill Cipher's not dead by the end of the show. He's not. And if you follow the treasure hunt, there's like a treasure hunt that happens.
Yeah, the statue.
Yeah, the statue.
That makes so much more sense.
That's because he is still in Grunkle Stan. He whenever Grunkle Stan's sleeping, Bill Cipher made him make that treasure hunt. So
I do not know any of this.
That's really cool.
So that's like that's the thing, is if you follow it to that deep of a level, I only know this because like when I heard that reverse text, I'm a nerd for like, you know, I'm a big game theory fan. I had to decipher this shit immediately, dude. And so, you know, I went after it, and like, so you have to dig several layers down to find this kind of information.
Like,
but
I knew about the ARG, but I didn't know it went that deep.
Yes. It would, but because like that for me, because I know about that, would boost it up. But I don't think I think that's almost a non-factor because you have to dig that deep to find it. So
I think you should include the novel. I think the novel is includable, but I think that's a valid argument to make, that if you that you shouldn't expect the average fan to dig that far.
Yeah.
They absolutely would see the novel and be interested. So I think you should count that. But the ARG and its full spectrum is a little like, I don't know. But I do think that since in the novel the axolotl does talk about Bill and like his more backstory kinda, I think that should boost him a little bit in that regard as well.
Now here's the question. I think that Bill is A tier, but I don't know where.
Ooh, yeah.
I put him above Flowey.
I agree with
I think
at
I
least
can
above
agree
Flowey.
with that. I think above Flowey.
Yeah. I would say above Evil Morty personally.
I could agree with that. I could do either.
All right, you guys want to do that?
I think
you
so.
guys, not me. Yeah, I'm just
not you.
specifying.
Not you.
All right, I'm outnumbered.
I would put him above GLaDOS, but I'm also not as big of a Portal fan as you two are. So I'll let you two decide that more than me. But just know I would put him above.
I could put him above GLaDOS.
I think I'd put him
honestly.
above GLaDOS.
I could, yeah.
Yeah, I think I honestly can agree with that.
What about S tier?
Fuck no. No, he caps
Okay.
off like he does not.
That's fine.
He's not crawling
That's
his way in A tier.
I was mainly doing that. As a joke.
Yeah.
Like, let's just keep pushing him up, guys. Come on.
Um.
I do think he deserves low S to high A, so I'm fine with keeping him high A.
So this is where I don't know how knowledgeable you guys are gonna be. Pain.
No, I have nothing.
I've watched your video.
All I know is that cool panel where he's above the Leaf Village and he's like, "Oh, the world, turn on my propane." That's all I know.
So, Pain, right? As a villain, he does something very, like I said, he did something very, very special for his time by a landslide. and that's he was right in a like I need to specify he was right, like he was absolutely correct. It's essentially like they were basically calling Naruto a basic shonen protagonist because he didn't consider the fact that Pain was right. And that's like one of the big three that did that first. So it was basically Pain's entire village was destroyed, right? Like it's the equivalent of like an actual world war. He was just like this tiny little village, and they didn't care. There was like, I don't know, like in equivalence, like the population of like 500 people. Who cares? We'll have our war right over that land. And he's like, dude, this isn't cool. this kind of fucked. And he's like, dude, I blame the 5 great nations for destroying my nation, and they're gonna go to war again, because what do we do in the real world as well? We just go to war over and over again. Like, and so he's like, the only way to have my place, like my village, not be destroyed, the people that I love and care about not be destroyed, is to destroy the rest of the villages. So like honestly a pretty normal country mindset is like, you know what I mean? Like that's like like he's prioritizing his nation. So it's like, okay, you're right, but like we see it through the lens of Naruto, so we think he's like bad shit evil, but he's really not. He tries to like take all the tailed beasts so that he can stop wars like that from ever happening again. In the process, he's killing thousands of people, millions of people, but it's like, do the ends justify the means type deal.
Yeah. Which in this case, I would argue it wouldn't, but you can see where he would come from.
Yeah.
And like getting to this conclusion.
Which is why I would put him S, because I think he changed the game in the way that, like, again, early, that's the best way to put it for me, is that this was like early 2000s type anime, and this kind of deep writing came out of it.
Yeah. It was early enough to start a trend. I can get behind that.
Yes. All right, so you guys are comfortable with my placement? I don't think that
I can offer no counter argument.
Yeah, that's
I can't either. I don't know enough.
Yeah.
I would say to today's standards that's kind of but
it's the same thing as
you have
yeah,
you have to give him the benefit of the doubt of when he was a thing, like when he was being written, when he was being shown, and all that. You gotta account for that.
Same thing as like Bowser's goal is to capture.
Yeah, exactly.
But he started that, like,
He was one of the big ones that started. Yeah, exactly. You can't really ding him for it. You can, but you shouldn't ding him for that.
Yeah.
Dabi. So I know the main person I'm going to talk to you about this is John, because I know you don't watch My Hero.
Yeah.
So did you watch my video, or am I about to spoil shit?
A, I don't care about spoilers.
I did watch
B, I watch your video, if you're talking to me as well.
All right.
I went ahead and watched it anyway.
Okay.
I haven't finished the latest season yet.
So you know that it's official, he's Endeavor's kid, etc. I think he's really, really well written. I know that me and you have differing opinions on him.
We do.
John.
I don't much care for him, honestly. I don't much care for most of the League of Villains. In all honesty, like, I think they're cool. Like, I like their powers and stuff, but a lot of I think all of the League of Villains kind of fall under this, is that like sometimes they're likable, like they have their moments, but I think I don't know if the manga's guilty of this, but the show kind of tries to pull the whole, are the heroes really the heroes, or are they on the right? And the answer is yes. It feels kind of pretentious to me, because it's like, these people are fucking terrorists, and I think they're good on their own, but it just feels like that's a theme that they're trying to do, is like, are the people that we claim are heroes are actual heroes, and that they absolutely 100% are. I love that. I sympathize with them a lot of the time. Like, I love Twice. Twice was great.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And I you felt bad for most of them. It was very, Joker-esque for me.
Yeah, the little bit I have seen because of your video, Christian, I agree with John. You do feel bad for him, like, because of what he's been through.
Like, you feel sorry for him.
Yeah, and it kind of shows like a
it.
bad thing a hero has done, ignoring all the good said hero has done as well. It's like a snapshot.
Story was great too.
Yeah, like for me, it's like a snapshot in, so like I can't like have the biggest say in this really.
Right.
But like I'm with John a little bit. Like it's like, yeah, but are they really heroes? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they probably are.
Like
honestly,
it's a question that they seem to try and bring up sometimes, but it just doesn't hit.
Yeah,
for me, honestly.
You can be a shitty person and still be a hero. Like that's my thing on it. Like you get
okay. So that's where we get into. Now you see, we're gonna actually have an argument here. Like I said, I specified in the video too. I loved Dabi / Toya because I despised how the show just forgave Endeavor. Like I don't, dude. Like it's like Endeavor was like he beats his kids. He like trains he beats his wife. He scars his wife so hard that she permanently burns her child. He like raises like their kids like separate. Like Todoroki's not allowed to talk to his siblings because he's too good for him. And he literally gives like Todoroki this like complex, like I have to be the best because eventually he breaks out of it, but he's like, I have to, I gotta do this because Dad always told me this is my only purpose in life. And then he tried to do, and that's the worst thing is he did that with Dabi, but then he got him in that mindset and then left him. He gave up on him. He's like, this is all you're good for. This is what you do. And then like was like, oh, okay, we have a better kid. I had another kid who's better than you. So what's the point? Like. And it's like I was so glad that like they recognized, like it felt like they actually like really recognized how awful Endeavor was whenever they showed his backstory, like Dabi's backstory. Right. So I was like, fucking finally! I hate dude. I'm gonna be real. I don't like Endeavor. I just don't like him. Like
sorry, but I was gonna say that's the thing that like brings Dabi down for me. I think is that I think they introduced that like that he was Endeavor's son like way too fucking late. Like I think it should have happened. That should have come up like while they were still doing Endeavor's quotation mark redemption arc, so it could like just shoot it to the ground and it would be like heavier hitting, But it almost seems like they everyone like fucking forgave Endeavor like so fucking quickly, and there was like almost no contest for it other than just having some trouble with one of his kids that I forgot the name of.
like dude, is it just me or did it feel like Todoroki had a harder time forgiving his mom than his dad?
No, he did.
Like,
he absolutely did.
Like that, and like to me that like makes no sense like at all.
It doesn't, because he's the reason all of it happened.
Yeah, like there was like a whole arc about like him forgiving his mom and like going to visit her in like the mental hospital or that
was way longer than anything I had to do with Endeavor.
And then like it's like 5 episodes like, oh Dad, like he calls him Dad. I'm like, oh my god.
Like I can't speak for the manga. I don't know if it was better or worse, but
I can still say that I guess how I view it is a little differently. Like I still think you can be a shitty person and be a hero. However, I don't think that makes you a good hero. That is a difference.
I mean, because he never still saved people, and he was really
exactly
good at it.
Yeah, he still fought for he did it the greater good, but his personal life did not represent that at all. At all. As a hero, he's a hero. As a actual person, not so much.
But that's the thing. Like, does it count? I like how we're getting more into Endeavor than we are Dabi.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're getting out.
But like I do want to say like but no, this is important because this is Dabi's motivation, right? So we're debating like if if Dabi's in the right, but like how justifiable is Dabi's like purpose?
Actions.
Yeah, and it's like, but then you ask the question like. Yes, Endeavor was really good at saving people.
ignoring the fact that
Mhm.
he was super shitty in his personal life, like literally, like I've never seen, and this is like
Yeah.
like a major like accomplishment. I've never seen a more abusive anime dad. Okay, like, and that's like a
That's where Ross
big
should
that's
choose from.
whoa, that's an accomplishment. But when he did save people, it's for the most selfish reasons known to man. He does it because he wants to be number one. He doesn't do it because he actually wants to save them. He doesn't do it because he cares. He does it because he wants the personal satisfaction of being number one. It's a popularity contest, and that he gets so obsessed with it he fucking breeds kids to be number one whenever he doesn't think he can. So it's like
Fall of like good hero, not a good hero.
Oh my god,
you
Cole.
cut so
Oh, I cut.
No,
Hello?
you're good now. Okay,
Yeah,
you're good
you're
now.
good now,
Like,
but
dude,
yeah.
you said like every sentence you said, like you like extended like a robot. All right.
Oh, it's probably my internet had a little blip.
You sounded like text to speech for a second.
But yeah, like I was saying, he's a good hero on paper, but he's not a good hero because he's
Yeah.
such an ass.
Yeah, and Dabi is just a byproduct of that.
Exactly.
Yes. And that's what I think is awesome. He's a byproduct of his father's mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And he also represents like, because it's not just Endeavor that's bad. There's like other heroes that like they're
Oh, yeah.
surfing,
Of course,
like,
there's
their
always going to be bad
motivation.
eggs.
Yeah, but like that's the thing is
Like
like
Hawk sucks too.
yeah. Yeah, no, Hawks was like, dude, like his redemption arc I can get behind to an extent, like,
Yeah.
right, like to an
Because
extent.
he wasn't nearly as bad.
Yeah, he wasn't nearly as bad as fucking Endeavor. He didn't. I'm sorry, like he didn't breed kids. Like that's such a, whew. But like, Hawks like killed people, straight
Yeah,
up.
straight
Like,
up.
dude, he's straight up
Yeah.
like, if you committed crimes, like he fucking
That's kinda
killed
bad.
people. Like, but like he was justified in because he's a hero. So it's like that's
No,
where
it's clearly okay. That's
It is.
Yeah,
I think we should wrap
exactly.
this back. I think we should wrap this
yeah,
back.
but
yeah.
yeah.
I think
So, yeah,
that
again, my major gripe is that I think they introduced that he was Endeavor's son way too late. Like
Mhm.
I think that's what.
I mean, it's a fair argument to make.
Because like that's last season type shit. And they introduced him. When did they? Introduce him? Like,
they introduced him season 1.
Hmm.
Yeah, season
How do I
one.
want to word this?
Like they left him in the oven way too long. I think.
Yeah, I could get
Yeah,
behind like him representing like why heroes are evil, but I also agree with John that like a couple bad eggs aren't going to classify everyone as bad, and even then those bad people have done some good. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like, are you really justified in being terrorists?
Right. 'Cause
Eh.
the shit they do is way worse than any of like the worst gripes that they have with
Typically,
the
yes.
heroes. I mean,
I-
except for Endeavor.
I was about to say I would make an argument Endeavor is probably should be on the
He's the
villain
worst.
side over there.
Yeah.
But that's the thing where like it bothers me because I genuinely think Dabi represents the cause of League of Villains better than Shigaraki.
Definitely. I
Like
think so, too.
Shigaraki's like raised into it from like All for One, but like
Dude,
that's his
Bo's
only
groomed into it.
Yeah, like he was literally groomed into it. Like he doesn't have like I mean like he does because like his powers like he accidentally kills like people with his power, like his family,
Right.
and so he's like and no one helped him on the street. Heroes left him to like be like homeless. I don't know, like that was kind of what they were getting at, but
Mhm.
like I still think Dabi was a better representation of it than he was.
Yeah.
Based on that, I think I
agree.
agree.
So I think I'd put him highest. I'd put him higher than Monika. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, I don't know enough.
Yeah.
I think here.
I think that's fair. I think him and Ridley can be swapped because they have like kind of a similar kind of thing, I guess, if you want to say it like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it's all about family.
Yeah.
The quote
yeah.
Vin Diesel.
So, John, you want to start us off with Darth Vader?
Yeah. So. Okay. So I'm gonna be real. He is an S tier. I honestly,
thank God.
Yeah, I honestly might not even put him in A tier. I'm gonna keep it.
Really?
Wow, really?
Really?
Yeah, I'm
Like
serious, I'm
really?
serious.
You're the biggest Star Wars fan out of all of us.
Yeah, I am. I am. And
Wow.
He's good. But
Like-
you see, the thing is, for me, at least, is that for decades, he had no backstory. He had like Lucas had nothing planned for him. He was just this big scary guy in a suit. You know.
Yeah.
And he's really good in Empire Strikes Back, but to me at least, like I have a lot of troubles with the sequels. I mean or the prequels. Excuse me. I have way more troubles with the sequels. I have some problems with the prequels, and I think his backstory there is the best part, but it just feels very tacked on, at least. But it is very, very good. So, because he reminds me, in some odd, now that I think about it, actually, in some really odd ways, he kind of reminds me of Dabi almost, because he's just a byproduct of the hero's failures. Because if the Jedi Council wasn't so, like, they weren't awful, but they weren't really good, they wouldn't have pushed him away from the light side, and he would have actually become...
Yeah, with all their arbitrary rules and shit.
Yeah, no, like, that's the thing, is, like, I think that you make a very good point, John, that he's, like, now, he's, like, really well written, right? But, like, now he is. Like, you're so right. Like, decades.
Like, 20 years after.
There was nothing. Like, actually nothing. I didn't think about that, actually. Like, you brought it up.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, like, there is a significant gap in between the original trilogy and the prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Like the gap between them. Like for a long time, that the trilogy was the trilogy.
Like, that was
about it. And then nowadays we have all this comics, like books, the sequels and the prequels, like all this media, like to all of the tales of every character just to be super fleshed out. Like you know what they did, when and where and why. Like all of it. But back then it was just like big black man in white hallway, very scary because he's evil. Not that way. Not that way. Big black suited man in white hallway, evil because he contrasts hallway. Like that was like what he was originally. Like I remember seeing an interview that with George Lucas where it was like. Because Vader just walked in, he didn't say anything, and like someone asked him about it, and he was like, "Why did you do that?" And George Lucas was like, "Listen, Vader, I don't need him to say anything because people will get it. People understand he's the villain because he contrasts his environment so well."
Like he's very obviously a bad guy, and
like he's so comically evil looking. Like I genuinely like he's this giant like black set of armor, and you know darkness equals bad. Yeah, he has a giant red like beam. Like it's like the two most like cliche evil colors. Like and I want to specify that those two cliche evil colors predated him, so I can't even say that he like he started that. You know what I mean?
He's not a pioneer.
Well, like that's the thing is like I now like in retrospect like did he do anything first like for like it just for the argument of S tier simply
not really.
Like, yeah
he was very good at what he did, but I don't think he did anything first. Like he nailed being ominous with like his breathing. He nailed being scary with how like fluently and careless he was of his emotions, but at the same time they felt planned and calculated, and how brutal he was. He was just a good villain. It's just until now he wasn't fleshed out.
Right. I mean, he's iconic, but it's not like he brought anything new to the table.
Is it just me, or does he suffer from being made in the time period he was? Like,
kind of.
Honestly,
like, I feel like if they remade the trilogy with updated like SFX or whatnot, like I feel like I would.
I hope they don't. I pray they don't. But in theory,
like I'd feel more like because like at the time like they couldn't do like super cool. I don't know, like Darth Vader never did like a front flip. He never did like this like super cool like I'm like a I don't know, like he literally walked. Does that make sense? Like he walked.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like he didn't have a lot of stunts.
Like mediocre like sword handling. Like he didn't seem like he like no one in that the original trilogy was like some samurai with like a sword. Like, they fit in the prequels. They are like in the prequels. Like I have to give them in the prequels. They're like the sword fights are absurd. But like let's talk about like the Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight where like they just like they poke each other. Like and I understand.
Didn't they reuse the same scene like 3 times?
They used the same shot like 3 times, and it's just these 2 guys poking at each other.
Dude, like, I know because like he's old.
It was the beginning. No one knew how lightsabers were supposed to feel.
It also kind of sucks because, like John said, it felt like because like this goes into like future things of it, like because they always say, oh, Darth Vader is so hindered because of his mechanical body and like all this and that. It feels like that was tacked on just because of those original movies being so clunky like that.
You're so, like
now
so
that you
valid,
mention it. Yeah, now that you mention it, that's what makes me think
They
of
were
it.
quite literally restricted by their time, pretty much.
And they never in the comics even have him do like front flips and shit. Like he just walks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they
at
committed.
At that point, he's just part of his character.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I
but
get it, like he's so strong and all that, he doesn't really need acrobatics.
No.
He just destroys you regardless.
Wow.
But I think on a story level is that he suffers from George Lucasism, if you will, because so people overhype Star Wars way too much. I fucking love Star Wars, don't get me wrong, but people blow it way out of the water.
I'm really surprised you said that, by the way.
Okay,
like, this is
Disney has made me so fucking cynical about the series, honestly. because like they ruined it, guys. Like some of the stuff is ass. Some of the stuff is really bad. Like I didn't like Obi-Wan. I didn't much care for the Obi-Wan show. I don't really. Yeah.
I liked the ending. That was it.
I liked the final fight with him, but like everything else, I didn't much care for. Like the only Star Wars thing I'm excited for now is Mandalorian. I haven't even watched the season 3 yet. But yeah, but to go back to the George Lucasism, is that he never took it as seriously as everyone thinks he did. Like everyone treats it like it's his magnum opus. Like I think it is. But he doesn't see it that way, and he didn't see it that way then. According to him, Star Wars is for 10-year-old boys, and I agree with him, honestly. Like, people take it way too fucking seriously. Like, just if you put the original trilogy in the vacuum, it is really fucking good, but it is not that deep. Like, it is a story about fucking space wizards, and laser beams and shit. Like,
dude, these are some. I'd like to add, you're like, dude, you're. Whenever I upload this, like you're gonna get some hate comments, and I think like you're saying some very
excuse the hot take.
Yeah,
I know. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love Star Wars. It is great. But wait, what was I gonna say? I got. But I mean, yeah. It's just that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I do think he deserves a little bit more credit because I like to include every form of media that a fan is likely to see. So while yes, in the vacuum he kind of falters, I do think they kind of recovered him a little bit, if you as you will.
In the prequels, he's fucking great in the comics.
Yeah,
they
the trilogy dropped the ball, but then someone else picked it up and just slam dunked that shit.
Exactly.
So I agree. I don't think he deserves S. I think there is an argument to be made for A and B. I would personally go A.
I would go low A. I would.
Dude, it's so funny because now after having this conversation, I'm speaking personally. I'm not saying he's gonna go there. I'd put him in C.
Wow.
If you put the original trilogy in a vacuum, I would agree with you. But I honestly think he's recovered over the years greatly with the prequels and with the comics, especially.
Yeah, I think we.
And
I think
like
an
I was
argument
saying,
to be made to meet B. Sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was gonna say I didn't much like a lot about the Obi-Wan show, but he was great in Obi-Wan.
He carried Obi-Wan. I'm being
like that last
fight, dude. That hit. Yeah. Like whenever like Obi-Wan and like Darth Vader had their like final had their confrontation. It was like it was after the events of the prequels. It hit hard. That did.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that.
I think it's time to. I think he deserves B based on this. I think we could at this point.
I could do.
Really low B? I'd give him at least the highest B. I think.
Okay.
I'm fine with that, and I think an argument he made now to move Monika to C.
Yeah.
I would put if we're gonna move on to Purple Guy, I would put him in C as well.
Oh really?
You know?
I would.
I think I could get behind that.
You see, the thing is that. Christian, I think you actually picked the perfect picture for him. I think he's good, like in the games, but I think the fanon version of him has diluted him like down so much into this bigger thing than he actually is. In all honesty,
he's just a child killer.
Like he's just Rick. He's just some guy.
Yeah. No,
like,
but
he's scary.
The thing is, it depends on how far, because if you follow the canon, like he does like. experiment with Remnant and like create these. If you follow the novels, and it's like I miss whenever it was
the
just
novels
regular.
are so wild.
Dude, it's like if you follow the novels, it's like he creates like these robot kids that look just like people, and they like he has a different robot for each age, so that they eventually like age and they don't realize that they're a robot, and it's like ignore the fact that like whenever they're like 60, like they're gonna realize because you're gonna be dead and you're not gonna be able to I don't know put their consciousness in the 60-year-old robot. And then what
he very much went from serial killer to mad scientist.
No, like
Yeah, like I know we should be focusing on like all the different medias, but I think the books, or especially the graphic novels, are really, really goofy on that front because it dips into like this really, really weird, unbelievable dark sci-fi almost. Like,
yeah,
I think it strays a lot from the supernatural, and it
it's like-
goes more into like cyborgs and shit,
If
which
we
isn't necessarily a
yeah.
bad thing. But
If we stuck to like the original trilogy, fuck no. If we stuck to like just like to I'd even say to Pizzeria Simulator, okay? I'd put him in B, okay?
Mhm.
But I have to take into account, and this is why I specified. He if you know, he's the only character I put. He was an amazing villain. He's the only title I
Yes.
didn't put is because
Yeah.
now there's Glitch Trap.
Oh yeah,
There's-
God, we haven't talked about Security Breach yet.
Yeah,
The
no,
security
there's,
breach fucks
there's
him.
two of him. There's two of him. I can't. There's two of him.
Actually, Christian, one of them is his real body, and the other is just his consciousness transferred over to an AI form.
Yes,
That counts as two of
but
him.
that counts as two
Actually-
of him. That
actually,
counts. Like there's a real version of him and a digital recreation version of him. Ignoring the
It's-
fact that this
yeah.
takes this says he busted out of hell. Like it's canonical that Ultimate Custom Night is Golden Freddy's like infinite hell purgatory that he puts William Afton in because like he's the only spirit that can't like get over it. So it's like
Right.
okay, that works. Whatever, it's fine. It keeps Golden Freddy like his like super. I don't know. Everyone loved himself, even though in retrospect he really isn't that big. And it's like okay, that's cool. But now like, he's just out, and then like there's two Vanessas or something, and it's like
God,
yeah. It's,
I've lost track of all the bullshit Security Breach tries to bring up.
Yeah, Security Breach
whatever
ruined
tier
it a little
we do
bit.
end up putting him in. I think the Glitch Trap thing alone from Security Breach knocks him down a whole tier.
I agree,
Dude,
actually.
I
Yeah, they
agree.
ruined him.
I
Glitch Trap,
loathe the
Glitch Trap
Trap.
pisses me off, dude.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, God, I want to put him higher than Monika, and I think I will. I don't because
I think
it's
I think he deserves
like, but at the same like, I think I'll do it out of respect for what he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we're trying to look at the sum though. You know? Like
Yeah, so like the thing for me is like like he started off simple, like oh he's a serial killer for kids, but then you get more and more in depth as it goes on, like oh yeah he discovered the afterlife essentially and how to control it and like all this based essentially an accident, but like he's smart enough to take advantage of it, kinda, which is where it starts turning less supernatural, more sci-fi, like he said, and it starts to get like it. Scott
gets messy.
Scott felt like he knew what he was doing with it. Like he felt like he was able to reel it in. Like he was able to keep it from getting too obscure and ruin what it was. But then the Security Breach came along and was like, fuck those restraints you put on the sci-fi bullshit. Get those out of here. There's two of them now because we can't get rid of him.
Villain, and that's hard.
It's like
They were halfway there.
They
Christian
were,
makes a
God.
great point. They were halfway there if they
were.
to go if they went with Copycat Killer.
Yes,
they
if
would
made
they were
Copycat
halfway there.
Killer, that game would have been so much better.
I am so passionate that I think that it would have been like beautiful philosophically if they brought back like original Bonnie, because like because he wasn't in FNAF 3, and like if they, and I'm speaking like if they were desperate and they needed some like fan service character, that would have been, you could write that perfectly, because you could say he didn't know that William. That's why I kept saying that whenever we were first starting our playthrough, because I was like, this would be so fucking cool. Because it would be like, Vanny, they just the copycat killer, and like it's this philosophical. Oh my god, I didn't realize how good of a killer William is, because I'm having a hard time avoiding this one animatronic, Bonnie, and you avoided hundreds, like like 20, like 30, 40, 50 of these animatronics that were out for your blood for so long.
And
like,
he essentially taunted them because he was in the same building with them for
literally,
extended periods.
Like it's like yeah, sure, like you shouldn't glorify him, but it builds William up as like he was this like killer. You know what I mean? In retrospect, and like it makes me so upset because like if they did that, I'd put him like fucking A tier, dude. But they didn't.
Dude,
yeah.
So would I.
Yeah,
like I think like the graphic novels and Security Breach just kicked him in the balls.
Yeah.
I'd put him C. Honestly, I would. I'd put him.
I think this thing with Monika. This is the argument.
As we were saying, because we're going off the sum and like Ultimate Customite and back, he's great. I think he'd easily earn like an A, but with Security Breach kind of like refusing to let him go and essentially laughing at this beautifully crafted arc, essentially it really does put him down. I think he deserves higher than Monika. I really do. I want to make an argument for low B out of respect for what he was, but I just don't know if I can.
Well, like,
I just don't know if I can.
I want to so bad, like out of respect for what he is, like put him higher, but like he isn't anymore. You know what I mean?
No, he's not at all. Like
yeah.
Honestly, to God, I'm gonna be so dead honest with what he is now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I agree. Like
wow.
Like, the Security Breach thing. I know I keep saying that, but it is just unforgivable. It is horrendous.
Like
it
actually like it hurts me to do this. Like it really like I'm feeling it like a little bit in my organs.
I would be fine making an argument if to like split him, like Security Breach Afton and non-Security Breach Afton. Because non-Security Breach Afton, I put an A tier. I would.
Too.
But fuck, dude, yeah. I don't know.
2014, us would murder. We would murder ourselves.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. It feels so wrong to put him that low. Even with Security Breach, it feels so wrong to put him that low. I want to put him above Monika still, personally.
I could take or leave that, honestly. I'm comfortable where he is right now.
I think he deserves this right now.
I've outnumbered, so I can't really change it. But damn, that feels wrong. That feels so wrong.
Damn.
God.
Now I'm mad.
I'm just sad, dude.
I think it's poetic though to show like how far a giant can fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a horror icon can fall this far. Yes. If you do it so wrong.
He was written so well. He was. He literally was. And they ruined it. They literally ruined him. Like, I can't in good conscience, like, just not take into account his new writing.
Yeah. Like, his new writing, like, I guess I can convince myself more now, like, because, like, his new writing kind of just, like, chucks his old writing in the trash can, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
In a way.
Dude, it chucks it in the trash can, takes a shit on it, lights it on fire, dude. It's fucking awful.
And that's why I'm so glad that it was so bad that Scott Cawthon came back.
Yeah.
That's that's how you know you fucked up whenever you ruin like the main villain in games so bad that the original like author for it comes out of retirement. Because he's like, this is not okay.
Let me show you how it's done.
Let me show you how it's done. Like that's bad. Death. Straight up.
S.
I
100%
I would not put him in S.
I put him in A.
I would put him in S. I'd put him in S.
I want to hear your guys' arguments. I want to hear your arguments because I think that I would say I'm playing devil's advocate, but I just am the devil. I'm on the other side. So, when do you guys go first? I want to hear your.
Go ahead, John. Since you're so adamant, I think you deserve it.
Okay. So, the Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish is a very odd movie, as you guys know. Like, they clump in 3 villains. No, not even clump in because they do it so well. They put in 3 villains, and it somehow isn't this bloated mess, and it is a masterpiece. It is so fucking good. But I would put him in S, because I believe he actually does change the game, as is our apparent definition.
That's where, like, yeah, I gotta hear your argument for changing the game. Like,
I think that is because if it wasn't for death, Puss probably wouldn't have changed at all for the entirety of the movie. Because if he didn't have that encounter with death, like in the bar before he went on the adventure, like, first off, he wouldn't go looking for the wish in the first place because he wouldn't want more lives. Like, I mean, he might have actually. But what I mean is that it would have just been another adventure for him, you know? Like, it wouldn't have been any different, because he wouldn't have felt the fear that he had for the first time. He wouldn't have been so close to actually being dead, both because he probably wouldn't have even been aware of it, because he doesn't give a fuck about any of his life. But I think it's because death, like, forced him to change as a person and forced him to, like, reconcile with his mortality. I mean, it was just like the whole theme of the movie is that he actually has to face, well, death, quite literally.
Yeah.
Because you know, he's put himself on a pedestal, and he's like, you know, he's this legend that can't die, but he's like, oh shit, the legend can die. And I think, you know, like, if he wasn't there, like, he wouldn't have had that realization. Because again, like, yeah, I mean, he would just be fighting, you know, the Bears and Goldilocks and Jack Horner, and they're just the, you know, these goofy villains that he fights, and that would be it. Like, he wouldn't have learned anything. He probably would have just wished for more lives so we can go fuck them up.
Yeah,
do stupid shit.
The main thing for me for that is, like, I don't think that changes the game.
I don't think it changes the game either.
Because the hallmark of a good villain should be changing the hero.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah,
that should be the norm.
I feel like that
shouldn't be changing the game.
The
game should already be that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that because, like, I think it changed not just because of the movie, but it changed the course of Puss's life. Because
shouldn't a villain do that anyway?
Purple Guy changed the courses of those kids' lives.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
He changed Henry's life. If you want to talk about a living person, Henry, he changed Henry's life.
What would you guys put him as then?
I'd say A, because exactly like you said, he drives the movie to go the direction he does. He's the reason Puss changes. He's the reason Puss becomes an actual hero instead of, like, a folklore hero or, like, something like that. Like, he changes him to be what he has always said he was.
Right.
But at the same time, I think he's just a great villain. I don't think he's S-tier great villain.
Because Honey Kiss, I'm just saying this, like, ahead of time. Honey Kiss drives the story. He takes your kid.
Right, but he is an S-tier.
Yeah. Now me, I'm gonna be harsh, and I know that I'm not gonna get my way, but I'm gonna go and say my thoughts. I think Death was a phase villain, like, on the internet in general. I think he was really well written. I like him for the. I know I can hear your silent anger, both of you. Hold on. I think Death was great. All right, I do, but he is not, to me. I don't think you can compare him to Flowey. I don't think you can compare him to Bill Cipher. I don't think that, like, that's how I'm put it in my perspective. I think when it comes to his writing, I, like, genuinely, like, real talk, him as a character, he's cool, but what is he but something to drive Puss?
I mean, he's not that deep in of himself.
Yes.
And also, yeah, like you were saying, how he's a phase villain. It is entirely possible that I'm gonna go just a bit off topic here. Is that because, you know how, like, Pixar has been, like, the gold standard of animation and animated storytelling for, like, so fucking long?
Yes.
Yeah, you know how we've been absolutely starved of good villains.
Oh, you're so right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Past few years. Like, I think that this might be a withdrawal of that. In all honesty,
I mean, I
Because
get behind that.
Disney and Pixar fucking refuse to give us good villains nowadays for whatever fucking reason. Because guys, the real villain was generational trauma and misunderstanding all along.
And then Puss Boots that comes along, it's like, here's 3 villains. There we go.
Exactly. Here you go. Like, we've been fucking starved by so many other companies. Well, not so many others. Just Disney and Pixar. We've been starved by them for so years. And then DreamWorks comes along and delivers this fucking 3-course buffet.
Yeah, that is Puss in Boots too.
That might be a product of the love, the amount of love that all of them receive.
I'm glad to hear that. I think that I feel like what I said did at least
Like, I still think they'd be great regardless. But that might be just
like, for me, genuinely. I take into account that, like, Death, like, there's no stakes in this for Death. He's bored, like, right? He's like, dude, Puss, you're kind of a jackass. You haven't like appreciated your lives. This is like a regular Tuesday for me because there's
so many people like you.
So many people.
He's right, but
yeah. And it's like, okay, all right. That, like, there's nothing, like, there's no. It's well written for Puss. It's not well written for Death.
I mean, it kind of makes sense to me why he's hunting Puss down on his last life, because exactly like he said, he thinks it's ridiculous that a person like Puss can have 9 and take none of them seriously. But
I think that's really funny.
Some like old granny who's taken her life so seriously all of her life only gets 1.
I think it is pretty funny though how Death himself is like pissed that even cats have 9 lives.
Yeah.
That's beside the point.
Like, for me, like, I'm not saying this is where he's gonna go because I know your guys' opinions. This is where I'd fucking put him.
Oh no. No.
Because
bro.
I'm saying genuinely, like, even I'll defend Darth Vader here, right? Like, I'm gonna a little bit die on this hill, okay? Like, I know that I'm not gonna get my way, but I'm gonna defend it. Like, Darth Vader, his, like, there's depth, all right? Like, now in his rewrites, like, you know, decades later, but there's rewrites, okay? Like, there's depth.
Took a little bit.
Yeah, but even in that case, like, there's depth to his actions, there's etc. It's I can't oversee the fact that,
you know,
to Death, this is not special. Like, this is not that important to Death. Like, it is not important to Death. He gives up at the fucking end, right? He's like, okay, you got your way because you learned. Like, that wasn't his plan, but he doesn't care enough to actually die on that hill because what is this to him, right? Like, to me, I can't. Like, he's so cool. Like, I know that, like, he's the screen time he gets, like, best villain in the movie. Okay, like, I mean,
I like Jack Horner better, but I just because I think the comedic villain is so underused, and my god,
I missed villains like Jack Horner.
Yeah, we needed a Jack Horner.
Yeah, like, I think actually, genuinely, I take that back. I think Jack Horner did more for villains than Death did, because Jack Horner brought back something that, because I love morally gray villains. All right, I love them. I love them. They're like my favorite villains, but not every villain has to be morally gray. Not every villain has to have this justifiable action. And we haven't gotten a villain like Jack Horner in forever, and people ate that shit up. Because
people are upset, like, or at least studios are obsessed with morally gray villains.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, like, now, don't get me wrong, I think that morally gray villains are better written 90% of the time, but at the same time, it's nice to just have some funny brain rot.
Turn off a little bit.
And it's like, it's entertainment's also meant to, like, help you escape from the sadness that is reality. So, you know, I don't want my reality to always be in my fiction. So that's where Jack Horner comes in. But
yeah, he's such a breath of fresh air because we never get that villain anymore.
Somehow, I never thought that you'd never think that you would say that about someone so generically evil.
Yeah,
but he's but
I think that itself proves the point here that I think Jack Horner would be higher on this list than Death would.
I'm biased towards Jack Horner. I would agree because of that bias. Like, I love Jack Horner. He's so funny and like such a breath of fresh air for fiction nowadays. Because no one, for some fucking reason, can have a villain that is just evil. And, he doesn't even have to be funny.
Summary.
He could be just evil. Jack Horner's just both, and it's so good.
Like, can we settle for low B, Christian, for death? Can we settle for low B?
But like, do you?
Below
I
Ridley?
haven't heard any like real
I'm
counter
sorry,
arguments
John.
against this.
But
I get what you're saying.
Christian's convinced me. I would say C now.
Ah, no, God.
John,
Like, I get what you're saying. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be as personal as like, as it see. Like, it feels like it should be way more personal between Puss and Death.
It's a one-way personal, yeah.
Here's my thing.
No.
He's either below Ridley or above Monika. I think Monika's still lower than him.
I think
At least.
I think we should settle for low B. Like, I think we could put him
I'm
below
fine with
Ridley.
that. I'd say I'd be fine with low B. I'd be fine with low B.
John's like gonna start sobbing at this ranking. I can hear.
Okay, we can't put Death with fucking Monika. Come on, guys.
I'm fine with low B, but if he stays in C, he's above Monika. Period. Like, there's no being below Monika in C tier for Death.
I'll put him in low B because you guys are for me, but I'm speaking. I would put Monika above him.
I wouldn't. I would not. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. But I see where you're coming from, and I can get behind a C. Like, I'm literally riding that line. Like, I am literally on the line of low B and high C. I'm on that line. I'm literally right there.
No.
He could literally be either or.
I
For me,
can't
it's either or.
Like, oh.
Guy, come on, guy.
I'm on that line.
If you want to, after this, because I can put it in the video, I can reload this tier list a few times, and we'll just make one real quick for each of our separate opinions. Like, it'll take like 5 seconds. You know what I mean?
You
Yeah.
disappoint me.
I'm sorry, dude. But does it make sense, John? Like what I'm saying?
Not that fucking low though.
Darth Vader's more compelling to me.
I mean that's why I would put him low B.
Yeah, I'm still fine with low B. Like,
Cole, you're the definer here, dude. Like you have to.
I don't know. It's
Get off
hard
the
for me. Listen, this fence very comfy, right? You know, I put a saddle on this fence. I'm riding it. It's great. All right, fine. I have to put my foot down on one side of the thing.
Yeah, because you know I'm a diehard. I'm diehard
You're-
C.
And
'Cause
John's diehard B.
I'm
diehard A to S, but I'll settle for B.
Dude, I'm not gonna like put him below or like even
C is unacceptable. No.
I'm not gonna put him like in like I said, like I have my opinions about him, but I'm not so like there's no universe where he like is in the same tier as William. But
No.
to me, I think that he's that spot between William and Monika. But that's to me.
I think I'm fine with keeping him in C for now. But after we rate Honeykiss and Bowser, I want to reconsider. Give me some time to brew with this one. Leave him in C for now, but let me cook on Death. Let me cook on Death. We'll come back to this at the end.
Honeykiss. All right, you guys watched my video on him, I assume. So I'm gonna be a little bit like I love pit people. All right, this one.
Clearly, you held a tournament.
Yeah, dude. I have like 5 videos on it. I'm like here.
Yeah, I could see that. He's fun. He's fun.
He's a fun villain.
He's serviceable for the goofy offsetting.
Yeah, like he's for me when it comes to writing, right? Like I think that he's objectively to me like the funniest or the second funniest between him and GLaDOS of the entire like group here, right? But that's like his shining point. Behemoth didn't try to make him super in depth. Like it's not like they tried to. They
didn't need to.
His motivation is his best friend died on accident because of like the planet, so now he hates the planet. Like that's it. Like that's about the extent. He doesn't like Horatio because he thinks he's boring. Yeah, I know. He hates Horatio because like
he's kind of jealous, isn't he?
Yeah, he's jealous. Like Horatio's happy. That's it. Like it's like almost like a
like this sounds like an insult, but like I'm really not trying to make it be like a first grade villain. Like he hates happiness. Like that's that's where he's at.
I mean, he's a giant space brother. I mean, like we got to think of like the context here. I mean, he's a giant interdimensional space bear that hates happiness. Like it's so goofy for the setting.
Yeah, like
it's so cliche that it works
for the world.
Yeah, it's like for that's the thing is like this isn't even like an insult to Honeykiss. I don't feel like because he's just so funny. Like that's it.
Yes.
I'd say he's funnier than GLaDOS, but I don't want to like trigger.
I agree.
Ooh, I don't know actually. That could be argued. I think.
The little like me and John on our first playthrough, the little bit we played, like his voice lines, they hit so hard. I can't stop thinking about. There's so many shelters up there. There's at least 5 shelters. As he's going up this like super long Kung Fu Panda's length of stairs. It's just so funny to me.
It's great. Yeah, or like when you take too long to move, he's just like, I am bored.
Yeah. It's like, and don't get me wrong, I don't think that like he's so much funnier than GLaDOS that like it's out of the question. That's why I said like I think it's just up to your interpretation.
Yeah, he just has so many funny moments. Like when he chucks the ship back and he's talking to like Horatia's son, like, well, you should have thought about that before you slapped it out of my hand.
What was it? It's sayonara. That's Japanese for go die.
Yes.
Yeah. He's very funny, but he definitely isn't trying to be groundbreaking. He's just trying to be goofy and fit the setting, which he does. He does great.
He does. I think he's perfect with the setting.
Yes.
He really nails like that bored god thing. He
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that all of us probably have a different opinion on this. Actually, genuinely, I feel like this is such like a diverse character and how you interpret him.
Yeah. You see, Bowser is tricky because we are all, whether we want to admit it or not, we're all blinded and clouded to an extent by nostalgia.
Yeah, because I mean, almost every gamer, like one of their first genres is most likely going to be Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Like
a Mario game. Like one of the first games I got on the Wii was Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, so, one of the first games I ever played on my DS was the Mario and Luigi RPG.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's he's tricky.
He's every gamer's beginning, like really.
We haven't seen the Mario Bros movie yet, and I've heard Jack Black's great as him, but like we can't go off of that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yes,
I don't really want to take
awesome.
the movie like. I feel like it would be like a minor like point to his character.
I mean, it's an Illumination movie, so it should be taken with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and also with like how much like games there is, that kind of counteracts however good he's in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he works really well as a villain. Like if you think about it, he's a king. He's trying to like. He's thinking about his kingdom. He's kind of like Pain in that sense. He's all about his kingdom, his way. But he's also not justifiable. He's just clearly evil. Like
let's be more specific. He's all about himself.
Yes, exactly. He's very self-centered and egotistical. But like I think he works as a villain. Like he clearly looks evil. He's spiky. He breathes fire.
Right.
He's monstrous. He isn't humanoid. So he just gives off evil vibes. And what he does is also shows that like he captures princesses. He takes over kingdoms, or at least attempts to. And like it just screams, it just screams old school villain, which he is. He is like you
Absolutely.
can't. He's one of the people I say is that I think you can't really dock him because of the trope of stealing princesses.
For that.
Yeah, because he's one of the people who brought it up, like into not this trope again, because like it was so popular in part because of him. He started off pretty bland, like Darth Vader, personality wise, but as it's like gone on, he's gotten a little bit better. I stated this in my video on Bowser in the personality section. The RPGs do him so much justice.
They do, like Bowser's Inside Story and
like when you get to hear him talk like and interact with people, he fucking excels. Like he's such a good character in the RPGs where he's allowed to talk and interact. In the platformers, he's just big evil turtle man. Like
he's just
He's
So
not much more than that. I think I would place Bowser below Ridley. I think Ridley has like equal reasoning, essentially, for being evil towards the main character as Bowser does. Well, maybe not actually, because in my video, like I said in my video, Bowser has been footsteps away from victory so many times.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense that he just wants to defeat Mario.
Peach in Odyssey. Like he got so fucking close.
In the first game, he literally has the Mushroom Kingdom under his grasp, and Mario just strolls along and is like, "What's up?" and then beats him, and then he loses.
Mm-hmm.
So like, he has a very good reason to hate Mario. Mario is just trying to be the goody two shoes hero that he is. He's very bland. Luigi's a better character.
Luigi, my beloved.
Luigi, my beloved, exactly. So I don't know where I'd put him. I think it's either B or A, but I'm leaning a little bit more towards B personally.
I
comparatively to our list.
I'd put him low B, honestly. Like
I put him low B.
I'd put him with Ridley, like right next to Ridley. I think it's where he belongs.
Now,
the Nintendo brothers.
He needs to be higher or lower?
Lower. Like
lower.
I'd argue higher.
To the right.
But
really?
I think that's just mainly nostalgia for me. I think that's mainly nostalgia for me. That makes me want to put him higher.
I think
super biased.
I think in objectivity he'd go here.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I can't really argue against that. I think he deserves a B. He's a huge gaming icon, but I don't know if he deserves higher than Ridley.
Okay,
so I'm fine with this.
I'm sorry. I gotta complain again. Are we really putting fucking Bowser above Death himself?
Yes.
Are you fucking no, guy?
If listen, is it time to hop back on that horse for me?
All right,
to make my
I
decision.
think so. I mean, we're done.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, if we did move him to B, I think it would be below Bowser. 1.
Really?
And
Oh my god.
I'm honestly on Christian's side. He brings up a lot of points. Like this is just an average Tuesday for Death.
Like John, if you
take it to kind of an extreme, of course.
Take a second, John. I want you to argue against me here. Like, what is it that like he's bringing completely like never been done before? All right, for S, because you want him S, okay?
Well, now that I think about it, yeah, I don't think he should be S, but I don't think he should be C either.
Okay, so then explain to me why he's a better written villain than Flowey.
So I mean, we got to think of it like a two-way street as well. So like, I actually do like the juxtaposition between it not being that big of a deal for Death and it being like this all or nothing
huge
thing
for Puss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for Puss, because I think that's how Death should be, in all honesty. Because Puss is just, semi-mortal. I'll say semi-mortal because he has 9 fucking lives. That's bullshit. And it's a special case here because in the context of Death, he's Death. He's done this, a million fucking times before. And Puss really only took his interest just because of how cocky he was and how frivolous he was with his lives. So I think, it's good that it's a bigger deal for Puss than it is that it's not as big as a deal for Death, is what I'm saying. Because it's more.
I agree with that. I think that Death shouldn't care like a lot because this is a Tuesday.
I mean, he does a little. It's more like just for the laughs.
Yeah,
I think it's more of an annoyance to him.
He quite literally just.
Yeah.
I mean, he quite literally just breaks the rules just because he's pissed at him.
Yeah. But
because Puss is like, "Hey, I'm not dead yet," and he's like, "Shh, don't tell anybody."
To me, I feel like having a villain who's like it's not a big deal to them limits them. Like I agree. Like that's the
but
way
I think in the very very special case of Death, though, I think it works.
After discussing this a little bit more, honestly, I think that what John is saying is we definitely should be accounting more for the hero than we have been. And based on that, I think I'm willing to put him above Bowser.
Yeah,
Really?
see, like I could settle for that.
I don't think Bowser changes Mario. Mario changes Bowser, I think.
Okay.
Personally.
True.
That's
I mean,
And-
Mario is kind of just a constant.
that's valid.
Ridley is the definition of changing the
Yeah,
hero.
because Samus
Because he
Yeah.
kills
PTSD.
Samus's parents. He
Yeah.
creates the bounty hunter.
And like she literally like whenever Ridley's mentioned like in the manga has like panic attacks like oh my fucking god
Mhm.
I'm gonna literally like kill she literally said kill me like actually
Yeah,
shoot me
before
in the
Ridley could
face.
get to her. Even
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's
And death changes puss
Yeah.
drastically.
As much as I don't want to, nostalgia glasses off. He should be higher than Bowser.
Taking off rose tinted
I
glasses.
I can agree with that sentiment.
I wouldn't. I also wouldn't dare put Bowser in C because you and me,
No,
Vivian, both agreed, Christian. Bowser is a better villain than Monika.
Surprisingly, yes.
You may have changed your opinion since last we talked, of course, but I still think I firmly believe he's a better villain than Monika.
All right, I'm gonna be so for real right now because I didn't disagree with you that day because I wanted to kind of save it for now, but like personally I think Monika's a better villain than Bowser. I would put Bowser I think higher for iconicness alone, but even though that's not what we're ranking on, but Bowser is not that deep.
No, he isn't. But I mean, we're trying to review it as objectively as we can.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
that because like if it was up to me, all right, I'm not putting him here. I'm saying I put him here. There's no universe
Yeah.
where I'd say that Honeykiss is better. Just like that's an insult. I'm gonna be real. Saying Honeykiss is better than Bowser is
Yeah.
like actually an insult.
I think the main drive for like Bowser is the RPGs. Like I will be 100% real with you. I think a lot of people love Bowser because of the RPGs and like delving into his character a bit more.
Weren't there comics as well? I don't know if they're canon, but weren't there?
I think there are
in that
comics,
movie?
yeah.
Like I don't know how deep they go if they're anything compared to the RPGs because the RPGs are fucking great.
I don't know.
If I
Too
remember,
much.
like, I only have like very fuzzy memories of it from like 13 years ago or so. when it
Yeah.
was me on my DS. So
I think Bowser suffers from Mario literally being a blank slate. I think
yeah,
that's
right.
part of it. Because like part of our
think in
criteria we just came with is like him changing his hero. Mario can't change. Like that's part of Mario's thing. He is the stereotypical goody two shoes hero that does everything good and like almost pretty much never does anything wrong. Like and is voiceless most of the time.
mhm.
So
well,
I think that hurts
Except
him a little
he
bit.
was an ungrateful little bitch in Luigi's Mansion though. The first.
Yeah.
one.
oh yeah,
But
I-
like his personality, I think saves him personally.
so
Yeah.
I think the only thing about this that I like, so just real quickly, just like let's go over. I think everything about this list except I disagree a little bit. Like I said, minorly with Monika's placement because I think Monika's getting the fucking shaft right now. But that's
I think that's just you though. Like
yeah, that's what I said. I
I'm,
mean,
also, I'm also biased because I didn't like a Doki Doki all that.
yeah, I was about to say you're a Doki Doki simp. John fucking hates Doki Doki.
I don't hate it. I don't like it.
You dislike it there. You
Yeah.
don't. You dislike Doki Doki, and I could take it or leave it. Like Doki Doki is like, to me. Like I thought its curveball was good, but that's all it does, in my opinion.
what also it flips the formula on its head because they actually
That's the
want
curveball
you.
though.
Yeah, like they yeah, like I said, like they actually want you. And if you're playing it like a regular dating sim fan, it's like, oh shit, I don't want to play. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like someone out there would be like, I don't really want to play these anymore because I don't feel comfortable with what I'm putting them through. But yeah. All right, you ready?
I think we're ready.
Yeah.
Let's look at the old list.
Ooh,
God damn.
Wow.
Oh,
You know
damn.
what? Honeykiss was about in the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Honey Kiss, Darth Vader, and Death didn't move. Oh wait, no, they did move. They're higher, one tier higher. We didn't use F tier.
We didn't account for security breach nearly as enough with Afton. I'm glad we did. this
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
Monika moved way down. Flowey, I think, moved up a little bit.
I like how we like put Cocaine Bear in its own space because I don't think it's really comparable to the rest of them.
It's
It
fine.
exists in its
Of
own
course.
vacuum.
Uh-huh.
Like Cocaine Bear is cocaine tier, and that's all.
Yeah.
I think that's how it should be.
That's where it's
I agree. I think honestly, our opinions didn't change as much as I thought they would for a lot of these.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I thought it would be drastically different.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we did this though. I think it was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I'm going to go ahead and download this image
Oh, what for, Christian? Huh?
for
What for?
editing.
For editing, huh? Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to.
It death
download
dirty.
here.
I think we knocked your hour that you wanted to do out of the water, Christian. I think we're
Yeah.
at 2.
We're almost at 2.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, oh god. Oh, I'm fighting to get rid of some of this. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So that was season 1 of Why Blank is an Amazing Villain.
It is. I'm gonna
Yep.
do more videos next season. I want to do more videos. Or at least write and narrate them. Chris,
Yes.
you can do editing, Chris. You can do the fun part.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll leave that to you.
Dude, next time that there's anime villains, dude, like seriously, like I thought you guys were gonna like look more into it yourselves to like.
I looked a
should have.
little,
We should
but
have.
I didn't look as much as I should have to like.
Yeah.
Because I looked into it, I was like, oh yep, they do this, they do that, but I'm not gonna have a good reference regardless, because I would have to have watched the full series, or at least up to them, to get like a good grasp, and like that was just unreasonable, with me us all being in college, honestly, and this essentially like us planning this at the end of the series. So, well, season rather. It's not the end of the series. It's the end of the season. We're coming back. Season 2, baby.
Christian or Cole, we're not British. We don't call them
Yes.
series. We call them seasons. The whole thing is the series.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I said it was the end of the series, but it's
Cool.
not. It's the end of the season. That's why I corrected myself.
Oh.
Because it would be the end of the series if we stopped, but we're not going to.
Yeah.
So.
I think that we should commit to 15 episodes per season.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do
Yeah.
that.
So I'm gonna save this so that
Mhm.
in the future we can
I'm back.
Why is it called
edit
that?
this. Oh, I just typed in a bunch of random shit.
Oh, you're one of those people. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll
How the
actually
hell are
name
you
it
supposed to
after
find it?
season 2.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you guys can download this at home. I'll put the link in the description of the video. And you guys can honestly send us your own tier lists because I'm curious.
Yeah, absolutely. Send us your own.
I bet they won't treat death as dirty. as the
Yeah.
other did.
That's half the fun of these videos, like having the community download your tier list and then
Yeah.
change it.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the S tiers. I know you guys don't have really strong opinions.
I would have put Bill in S personally, but I know you guys are
I
firm
could,
A tier Bill believers.
I could have taken Bill or left him for S. Honestly, I'm okay where he is.
I'd put him high A. Yeah.
I'm last minute change,
It's too
DLC
late.
change.
No.
Come on, Christian, it's not too late. You can
It's too
re-download.
late. It
How long
downloaded.
are
Yeah.
We haven't closed stream yet, Christian. You can change it.
No.
Oh god,
The
no,
more
this
we forget-
glitching. Oh.
No, we haven't done our outro, Christian. No.